When Disney released Zootopia, they wanted us to believe it was an underdog story where Judy Hopps prevails against all odds to be a superhero police officer. However, if we dig a little deeper, then we start to realize that Zootopia is just a Disney-fied version of Training Day. And once you start viewing Zootopia as Training Day, then the question must be asked, is Judy Hopps actually a good police officer, or is she just an animated version of Alonzo? In this video, I will prove that Judy Hopps is no saint. She is manipulative and corrupt, just like Alonzo is in Training Day. Let me start off by giving you a short background on these movies just in case you're one of the very few people who hasn't seen them yet. Zootopia follows Judy Hopps as the city's first rabbit police officer. Although Zootopia is a city where all animals are meant to live in harmony, Judy Hopps is dismissed as weak by her own peers. To prove her worth, Judy volunteers to find the missing animal and puts her job as collateral if she's not able to find it.
You strike out, you resign.
With her job on the line, Judy teams up with a fox named Nick and together go on a crazy adventure to find this missing animal. Their investigation uncovers a conspiracy where animals are being drugged to appear savage in order to create tension between predators and prey. At first, the mayor of Zootopia is blamed for this, but it is later discovered that he was set up by his own assistant, Miss Bellwether. Similar to Zootopia, Training Day follows a rookie police officer named Jake who wants to be in the narcotics unit but is seen as weak. To join the unit, Jake trains with a veteran detective named Alonzo, but Alonzo isn't your ordinary cop though. He would do anything to get what he wants, even if that means breaking the law. Throughout the entire movie, we witness Alonzo test Jake's morals by encouraging him to break the law in order to grow his career. Once it becomes evident that Jake will not follow in his footsteps, Alonzo tries to get Jake killed. In the end though, Jake comes out on top without needing to be dirty like Alonzo. So you may be asking yourself, how is Judy Hopps the bad guy then? How is she like Alonzo? After all, she helped solve the missing animal case and got the real bad guy behind bars. Well, let me tell you, everything that Disney has showed us has been a big ass lie.
You tricked me!
Stan.
Because just like Alonzo, Judy Hopps is an abusive ass cop. To start off, remember when I said that she teamed up with Nick the Fox? Well, why did they team up in the first place? Were they lifelong friends who just happened to be cops together? Nope. Judy abuses her powers as a police officer to blackmail him into helping her.
Blackmail? No.
Judy secretly records Nick admitting to making more money than he reported on his taxes, and then uses that as leverage to force him into helping her in the case that she volunteered for, not him.
$200 a day, Fluff. 365 days a year since I was 12.
Actually, it's your word against yours. And if you want this pen, you're going to help me find this poor missing otter, or the only place you'll be selling popsicles is the prison cafeteria. It's called a hustle, sweetheart.
And if you're saying, oh, Nick is a criminal, who cares if Judy forces him to help? It's the principal.
It's the principal!
She can't be blackmailing people just because she's a police officer, right? She's technically taking away Nick's freedom and forcing him to help in a potentially dangerous mission just for her own benefit. So who else blackmails their partner for their own benefit? You guessed it, it's Alonzo. For example, Alonzo sets up a sting operation to steal money from his own friend named Roger, who is an ex-cop turned drug dealer. During the sting operation, Alonzo tries convincing Jake into shooting and killing Roger, even though there's really no legal reason to.
Well, you want me to shoot him?
Yeah. Go on, kid. Do me a favor. Come on.
Do yourself a favor. Hit him.
Are you serious?
Alonzo just wants Jake to shoot Roger so that he can have some dirt on him and be able to control him better. Jake refuses to shoot, but Alonzo ends up killing Roger anyways, and then tells his crew to say Jake was the one who pulled the trigger. When Jake continues to deny it, Alonzo says,
Well, the cop said you did.
But I didn't. You did.
A Los Angeles Police Department narcotics officer was killed today, serving a high-risk warrant in Echo Park. Give me the bitch. LAPD spokesperson said the officer is survived by his wife and infant child. Shit gets deeper. You get the picture.
This is Alonzo implying that if Jake continues to question or disobey his orders, then he can use his power and his connections to ruin Jake's life and his career. Not only does Judy use blackmail to get what she wants, she also uses physical force. During her adventure, Judy discovers a lab where the drugs used to turn animals into savages are being manufactured. But how does she actually discover this lab? Does she risk her life like Mission Impossible? Nope. She gets that information through force. Nick helps her get in contact with an animal named Duke Weaselton. But why him? Well, earlier in the movie, we see Judy almost destroy an entire neighborhood like she's an Avenger, chasing Weaselton through the city because he stole some onions. We later find out that Weaselton actually stole the main ingredients needed to make the drugs, so Judy needs him to find out who he was supplying them to. So they meet up with Weaselton, but he refuses to talk. So if he's not talking, how does Judy get that information? Well, she kidnaps him and takes him to the biggest mobster in town, Mr. Big, and then threatens to kill him if he doesn't talk.
Ice this weasel.
What? All right, please. I'll talk. I stole them night howls so I could sell them. They offered me what I couldn't refuse. Money.
And to whom did you sell them?
A ram named Doug.
Yeah, you heard that right. Judy, a police officer, is willing to kill to get information. That's not a good police officer if you ask me. Alonzo uses similar tactics to get information from criminals. When Alonzo and Jake catch a drug dealer, Alonzo forces him to throw up by sticking a pen down his throat to see the drugs that he swallowed. And then Alonzo threatens him with longer prison time if he doesn't give up his supply.
I know you ain't no snitch. Give me a name. That's 30. Give me a name. That's 30 years. You want to go to jail, you want to go home?
Once he gets the information, Alonzo and Jake head to the supplier's address and enter the home without a warrant. They point guns at a child, and Alonzo steals money from the home without ever arresting any criminals. Throughout this scene, Jake constantly questions Alonzo's methods, but Alonzo brushes it off as his methods are necessary evil to catch bigger criminals.
I'm sorry I exposed you to it, but it is. It's ugly, but it's necessary.
Basically, Alonzo and Judy abuse their power as police officers to circumvent the law to get what they want. And then they justify their actions as saying they're for the greater good of the city. If that's not enough to prove that Judy Hopps is the same as Alonzo, then let me give you Judy's final strike. So for strike 3, I'm going to compare two similar scenarios that Judy and Jake experience in their films that ultimately show how bad Judy truly is. So I already said that Judy took Weaselton to Mr. Big, but how did Judy know that Mr. Big would even help her? If he's the biggest mobster in town, why would he help out a cop? Well, earlier in the movie, Mr. Big's bodyguards catch Judy and Nick breaking into his limo looking for clues on their case. Mr. Big is seconds away from killing Nick and Judy, but at the last second, Mr. Big's daughter Frubalina saves them. But why? Well, remember when I said Judy was chasing Weaselton through the city? During the chase, Judy saves Frubalina from being crushed by a giant donut. Frubalina is just basically returning the favor for getting saved earlier in the movie. So if we're keeping score, Judy saved Frubalina, and then Frubalina saved Judy. So in theory, their relationship should be over since they're technically even, right? Well, later in the movie, Judy teams up with Mr. Big to torture Weaselton. So it brings us back to our question. Why is the biggest mob boss in the city helping out a cop? We find out during Weaselton's interrogation that Judy has actually joined the family.
You dirty rat. Why are you helping her? She's a cop.
And the godmother to my future granddaughter.
I'm gonna name her Judy.
Yeah, that's right. Disney's perfect cop has joined the mob. This means that Judy knows that Mr. Big is a criminal. She knows that he has disappeared animals before, and yet she chooses to join the family either way. How corrupt can you be? What's next? She'll get billions of dollars from a foreign government to run for office? Now let's compare a similar scenario with Jake in Training Day. Like I mentioned earlier, Alonzo wants to get rid of Jake by any means, so he sets him up to be murdered by a gang. Similar to Judy, Jake is seconds away from being executed, but at the last second, a good deed he did earlier in the movie comes back to save him. During a patrol of the city, Jake saves a young girl from being assaulted by two criminals. We later learn that the girl he saves is the cousin of one of the gangsters Alonzo hired to kill Jake.
She's my cousin, Holmes. She's a civilian.
This good deed ultimately saves his life, just like Judy saving Frubalina saved hers. The difference is that in Training Day, Jake doesn't join the gang. Jake goes after Alonzo on his own. He doesn't need to use the gang to get back at Alonzo for trying to kill him. Judy, on the other hand, basically becomes a double agent, working for the police department and being part of the mob, using their techniques for her own benefit. After everything I've laid out, are we still supposed to believe that Judy Hopps is a good police officer? Does she really deserve all the hero treatment she's been getting? Yeah, she saved the city, But what about all the other crimes that she committed? If Judy's actions are justified, are Alonzo's actions also justified? In my opinion, we have to stop listening to Disney's propaganda for Judy Hopps and start viewing her as the villain she truly is.